Hey folks, so in this video, I want to talk very briefly about kind of the idea of having maybe a hybrid system or just other ways to use these designs in general. So I have here basically two examples here. One is iOS, the other is Android. So for iOS, here we have basically, well actually you guys think for a second, what architecture is this on the left hand side? Hopefully you thought layered, because then you're right. So this is a layered-like design, but it's a little bit different kind of flavor than the ones we've seen before. Or at least some of the, well, it's a little bit different focus, I should say, than some of the things we've seen before. So we have here, right, Cocoa Touch, Media, Core Services, Core OS. So what do these do? This is basically a UI, right? So your UI is, your touch interface, right? Or maybe you have a mouse pointer interface. Remember that Apple, right, has to basically break their things down in a way so they can maybe reuse, things on different platforms, right? Or with different I/O on different devices, right? Different input devices. So something like your basic experience, right, of maybe gestures, that type of thing, right, is the highest layer here, right? This is your touch interface, right, for iOS. Okay, so then what happens when we go down? When we go down, we have things like, for example, graphics, right? So we have, for example, OpenGL, which is a graphics library. There's some sound library. I don't remember what it's called on iOS. But those kind of presentation layer things, right? So this is about kind of things that the user sees, right? User sees versus user doesn't see. The presentation level layer stuff, right, goes over media, right? So video, graphics, sound, right? All those things are in that media layer. Then we go down to core services. And the interesting thing to me about core services is that core services is not really core services. Well, I mean, it is, but this is basically stuff like, for example, iCloud. iCloud. I can't spell a day, folks. iCloud. Or basically other, let's see, user management. User management, okay. Those type of things go in core services. So core services is really talking about things that are offered as part of kind of the Apple OS experience, right? So you expect to be able to use iCloud on your mobile, on your desktop, right, to get files from different locations. That's what it means by core services, right? User management, right? Controlling that this user owns this product versus this user owns this other product and have actually access to this and this and this. All those things go under core services, right? So this is maybe the Apple experience if we put over here, right? So this is Apple experience. Right, is what this layer somehow is all about. All right, and then the last one, Core OS, that's actually all stuff we've been talking about, right? So managing memory, managing files, managing external device drivers. This is our real kernel over here, right? Everything else is kind of just optional. This is where the real kernel stuff is actually stored. All right, so that's for iOS. Another approach, right, is Android. So Android basically is layered plus monolithic / organic. You can see there is kind of some layering going on here, right? So I have user level stuff over here, and then hardware level stuff over here. Okay, so there is kind of some top to bottom levels there. For library, so that's where it kind of breaks down, right? So we have the high level stuff, right, for basically supporting applications, and then we have different lower level stuff, right? So we have kind of a monolithic chunk in here for libraries, right? So very typical things, right? So here, right, we have our graphics, our media. This somehow, right, is kind of a mix of these two layers over here, right? This is kind of the graphicsy stuff, right, as well as maybe some of the interfacey stuff over here. So those are all kind of just thrown together, right, in this bucket. They're just all kind of offered to us, right, all together, right? There's not any particular structure there; they're just available. Then we also have kind of off to the side is our runtime environment, right? So this is sort of analogous. Well, I guess in a sense it's analogous to this, right? Obviously, we're on an Android device, or using something like Java. Java is going to run in a virtual machine, right? This is kind of the backend that supports that, right? That supports that kind of generalization across different hardware devices, is running different things, right, inside of a virtual machine. And that's just another part of the system here. All right. So yeah, so this is kind of layered. So this is basically layered plus. Let's see here. We would say this is basically layered, slightly, ever so slightly, plus monolithic. I think. So yeah, first this is layered, but with a different focus. All right, so that's about it for this video set. Hopefully you guys have a better sense now, basically, of how the different elements of our operating system could be put together.